Come over here.
Wait, can you close the door? I have two cats inside.
Hold on.
I want the cats to run out.
That's just moments after the shooting. She's put in cuffs, she's detained, and then the investigation begins, and it takes a while before the arrest. It's not an automatic arrest in a case where you allege self-defense down in Florida because of the Florida laws. So sheriffs and deputies, they've got to investigate all the facts and then come to their determination. She was actually interviewed twice. She's interviewed that night and then comes back for a second interview and is then officially charged. I want you to take a look, as we've been discussing that this night, it wasn't a one-night deal here. It wasn't like all of a sudden this happened. There was tension brewing in the neighborhood. You go back 16 months before the shooting. There's another incident, this one involving Susan Lorincz and the victim, A.J. Owens, the mom. And again, it's Susan who calls 911 on the mom, accusing the mom of throwing a no trespassing sign at her. Let's take a look at some of that video.
I'm sorry, my heart's thumping.
No, you're fine, just breathe.
I just didn't know she was going to actually get physical with me.
What about the sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and that's not cool. You don't get physical. I mean, that's ridiculous.
She just threw it?
No, she whipped it at me. I mean, she hit me.
She's showing her sign, showing her sign, like almost like she went and bought a little private property sign and she stuck it in there. So she has a sign. She's basically like ramming the sign in the face. So then when she went to pick it back up, I picked the sign up and I threw the sign. I literally picked the sign up, and as I walked outside, I threw the sign. I said, I can go and buy a sign too. It still doesn't mean anything.
So there's a couple of things to take away from this. Number one, Susan Lorincz is putting no trespassing signs up in the small yard that's part of the unit that she's renting. And you've got the neighbor from across the street with the children that Susan is always getting so aggravated about, picking up that no trespassing sign and throwing it. Susan said it was thrown at her, but this resulted in no charges against anyone. Which brings us to the next question in our investigation. Was there any way to prevent the shooting, which really is the escalation of what happened over the course of more than a year inside that neighborhood? Still with us, helping us with our investigation, is private investigator Lauren Vellucci and psychiatrist, a forensic specialist, medical health expert, Dr. Yalda Safai. Dr. Safai, what are your thoughts here? Because, you know, you cover a story like this, and I think it's something people may be able to relate to, that they've had situations or maybe a current situation in their neighborhood where things are tense. How can neighbors, what could have been done here when these tensions are continuing and not getting better, but seemingly getting worse?
So, Vinny, this is what I tell my friends and family and patients all the time. You cannot control other people's behavior. All you can do is control your own behavior. I always say avoid confrontation with people you don't know at all costs. It is not worth it. There are a lot of unhinged people out there. You never know how they're going to behave. So be the first one to apologize. Walk away. Even if you think you are in the right and the other person is in the wrong, it's not worth it. Walk away. So my advice always is, Vinny, if you see a person who is hot-tempered, who is agitated, do not do anything to make it worse. You never know how they're going to behave. Walk away. It's not worth it.
Lauren Vellucci, this is a situation where there were calls to 911, and it's always Susan Lorincz who's calling 911, complaining about this, complaining about that. Do you see any other ways that things could have calmed down rather than escalated inside of that neighborhood?
Yeah, Susan could have packed up her stuff and went to a 55-year and older subdivision where she wouldn't have had to deal with children exuding joy while they're playing outside. But if she wasn't willing to do that, yeah, I mean, I just don't know if there could have been like some kind of an intervention, because this wasn't just this one lady, Owens's children. She was doing this to children all over the neighborhood. So I don't know if that was something, but hindsight is 20/20. You know, it's hard to say that now because you don't think some random person is going to shoot through a metal door when they're inside their home safe. But, you know, now we could kind of pick it apart a little bit and and say, hey, maybe that would have been something that the neighborhood could have come together and done.
Yeah, you mentioned other people in the neighborhood. I want you to take a listen. This is another piece of the body cam video. And in this piece, you can hear someone else from the neighborhood reference Susan Lorincz, like understanding her and giving their perspective of what just happened here. Let's take a listen.
There is still someone with a gun.
She's inside.
Okay.
Where?
Bro, where? Ex-military. She's in the house, bro. That apartment.
Dr. Safai, you could hear, just like Lauren was saying, people in the neighborhood immediately are saying she did it on purpose, like they know her. This is an ongoing thing. So let's branch it out to the whole neighborhood. A neighborhood of families and kids, and everyone knows this is the neighborhood grouch. This is the one. Anything that the neighborhood collectively could have done here to try to bring down the temperature in that neighborhood?
This is tricky because it's not like they can evict her or, you know, run her out of her house because she's annoying and grouchy, right? Going back to what I previously said, I think that the best way to deal with someone like this, a person who's agitated, a person who calls the police on you for doing absolutely nothing, is to avoid that person. When I was seeing this documentary, I thought to myself, if it were my kids, I would make sure to tell them to stay as far away as possible from this woman's lawn for their own safety as possible. So I think collectively what they could have done was to completely avoid this woman so she does not get agitated, she does not act out, she does not call the police. But really there was no other option. It's not like they could have evicted her.
Yeah, and that's the problem here, right? Like you're not doing anything wrong, but you're the one who has to walk on eggshells, and your kids have to walk on eggshells. And think about this, the world we live in now where our kids don't want to go outside. This is a neighborhood full of kids. That's all they wanted to do, was go out and play outside. Dr. Safai, Lauren Vellucci, so great to have you with us. Thank you so much. Still to come, we're going to dive into the law now, how to stand your ground / self-defense.